Got a few things to cover from last time. We're kind of in a Christmas continued mood. At least I am. I don't know about you guys. So let's get started. As usual, I've got a cup of tea with me. I think that's something that I'll continue with throughout the regular episodes too, because I have a lot of fun tasting these and sharing them with you. I'm using my favorite holiday mug, my Christmassy mug. This was given to me by one of my coworkers at Starbucks. Very dear. She's become a very dear friend, and we've kind of got a nice little close-knit group of us. But I am drinking a tea that my parents got for me when they had their trip to Europe. It's warm. It's got that, like, flavor-wise, not just temperature. I mean, duh, of course it's going to be warm. But it has some warming anise, clove, has a little bit of licorice root, which gives it a little bit of that sweetness. And then, of course, when I was setting up, I forgot the packaging because I want to share that too. So I'll be right back. Here we go. So this is the package. It's by a company called Herbert, which is funny because I almost picked this exact bag up for myself when I was there with Jess and her husband Eric, but I resisted temptation. But my parents got it for me, so yay! But I think it's really funny because that's our last name. And this is the Winter Blend. It's a traditional Czech herbal tea. And the packaging is super pretty because it has the Prague astronomical clock. I'll slide off the outer portion so you can see that. There we go. There's the tin church spelled T-Y-N. It's not a church made out of T-I-N. And there is the, and there's the Prague astronomical clock. And this is the main square in the town center, at least for the older part of the town. I won't get too much into the geography of Prague, Czech Republic, but there is an old town and a new town that is part of the older, more historical district. So that's what I'm enjoying right now. All right. So, again, this is Christmas Continued, and I like to, I know I probably mentioned before, but generally speaking, I'm one of those that I like to keep Christmas in my heart as long as possible, and rather than, begin earlier and right as soon as December 26th hits, or even New Year's, I extend it further in the more liturgical sense. And in fact, last Sunday, was the Feast of the Holy Family. So Mary, Joseph, and of course, Jesus. There we go, got a little cut off. Let's see, where was I? Oh yeah, so I think I was saying before that yesterday was the Feast of the Holy Family, and that kind of got me reflecting on just the family orientation of the holiday season in general, kind of no matter what your faith is. And for a lot of us, it's a time where we all get together get together. Wow. Where we all get to spend time with one another, even if our families are very small or spread out. We still make time to communicate by web chatting or get together as a bigger group. Also, I do realize that for some people, that is the exact reason why Christmas is not a favorite time of year. It could be for a number of reasons. It could be due to the fact that there might be tensions in the family. Not everybody gets along. It could be because of a recent loss, or a loss that, even though it wasn't recent, you still feel it hit harder this time of year than the rest of the seasons. Excuse me. So that got me to thinking that it's really important to spend as much quality time with the family that you do have, the family that you do enjoy, even if it's not family that you were born into or marry into. It could be family that you create for yourself. And again, I do realize that not everybody is as fortunate to have a circle of friends that they can consider family, but it's definitely worth thinking about, and also go out of your way to make friends, to reach out to somebody that you might think might be lonely. I know that's easier said than done, especially for me, someone that is naturally more reserved. I don't really like to get into other people's business, but if there's an opportunity to help, then why not? But this year I got, as usual, I got to have a lot of quality time with my family, which I really enjoy. I never take that for granted. Christmas Day, I got to see all my cousins, at least my cousins that are here in California, because I do have family in Kansas and Arkansas on my dad's side of the family, all over the place. We're really spread out, but got to spend some time with my uncle, my mom's younger brother, and his family, and we just love the time that we have together. So I'm very grateful. On the I worked the 26th. The day after, the 27th, I got to hang out with my dad, and got some adulting stuff done. Woohoo! He got my tires changed for me, which I'm very grateful for, because that is not a cheap thing to do. So I'm considering that part of my Christmas gift. And he also showed me how to change my oil. So that was fun. That was a fun little father-daughter bonding experience. And I told him next time I need my oil changed, I'm going to have him watch me while I do it to make sure that I do everything correctly. Because I want to learn how to do that kind of thing on my own. All right, then I do have some crafty things to show you as well. By the way, while I'm thinking of it, if you've had some fun times with your family, or if you need a little extra love yourself, some thoughts, prayers, good vibes sent out, let me know in the comments, or feel free to send me a direct message. All right. Anyway, back to some of the crafty things. I have some knitting updates and a sewing project in the works. We'll start with the knitting. I am working on the hat for Taylor. There we go. It's looking really good right now. I just finished the brim, and now I'm working on the main body. My stitch markers are all from the Forbidden Fiber Company Advent Calendar. I'll flip them all over so you can see. There we go. And the pattern that I'm using is Mountain. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, and it is by Carissa. I'm blanking out on her last name. Again, I'll post a caption. But I've got about a 2-inch brim, and I am using Cascade 220 Heathers. And I'm blanking out on the colorway name, so I'll post that as well. All right, and then I have like I said, I have a sewing project in the works. I am working on a Christmas project bag. So I'll be right back. Can't seem to find it. Well, let's just say I didn't take it out and have it set out for the podcast because I just remembered as I hit the record button. So I'll be right back. I'll go get that for you. There we go. Found it. Yay! So I decided that I would do just one fabric and do 2 project bags. So I'm doing a smaller one with the Christmas kitties. And then I've got the, for the lining, I have green with red polka dots. And the fusible interfacing is on. I just need to locate the zipper that I was planning to use for it. And then the other one I might do as a drawstring. I don't know though. We'll see. Get this back, and of course I should have looked right in front of my nose because I'm using my little crafting rolling drawer set, and it was in one of the drawers right below the camera. Oh well. So that's what I'm working on right now. And then I have some other projects lined up, both sewing and knitting. So one thing, just trying to take it one thing at a time right now. But yeah, that's what I've got going right now. And then the last time I started talking about Christmas sweets, so this time I have some panettone. This is an Italian Christmas cake or bread. It's yeast risen, so, but it is enjoyed like you would enjoy a cake. And this one is a pretty popular brand. I'm not going to mention any names, but usually with panettone you can find a couple of different varieties. The variety that I have now has pieces of dried fruit. The other variety that I've seen has chocolate chips. Sometimes they might have like a chocolatey cream on the inside, so that when you cut into it you get a bite of the cream. But I've opted for the fruit-filled kind because, I mean, you can get chocolate chip cake or bread pretty much any time. With dried fruit, that's kind of a special thing. It's the it's a good Italian version of fruitcake, basically. Which is also where the Christmas pudding derives from as well, as traditional fruitcakes. So I peeled off the wrapper, and this one has pieces of papaya, orange peel, and citron peel. And raisins, of course, can't forget raisins. And then usually it's sliced into wedges, but I'm just going to gently tear it so you can see the inside. And you can see the holes where the yeast has blown out the gas. And it's very, very moist. It kind of reminds me of brioche, or even challah bread, but not quite as eggy as those two. So let us give it a taste. Oh my gosh, my mouth is watering. It smells so good. Mmm. That's good. I like the papaya. I've never had it with pieces of papaya in there. Here's a little example of that. And that kind of leads me into, kind of want to get into the history of fruitcake, since it is pretty traditional at Christmas time, but it's one of those things where there are two camps. Those rare birds that absolutely love it, look forward to it every year, and the rest of humanity that absolutely despises it. I'm in the camp where if it's made right, it's probably going to be really good. But I want to make my own eventually. That way I can kind of control the ingredients, because when you think of American fruitcake, you think of course, the nuts, raisins, but they're just big pieces of really yucky candied fruit. How much of it is candy and how much of it is fruit is up for debate. So I want to kind of make my own fruitcake at one point. But that begs the question, if so many people don't like it, why do you see it on store shelves every year? Why does it fill stockings every year? Well, the pieces of dried fruit and fruitcake are a symbol of fruitfulness, abundance, good wishes for the new year. And in fact, it dated back to ancient Roman times, and in the during the medieval period and Renaissance, fruitcake was actually a traditional wedding cake. And there's so many other legends that revolve around it, but I thought it would be fun to share that little tidbit or fun fact. There we go. Those were the two words that I was combining there. About a ubiquitous holiday classic. Again, some people love it, some people hate it, but it is there regardless. One more bite for the road. Just gonna pause while I finish that bite. There we go. And I'm gonna give credit where credit is due. The person that inadvertently inspired me to talk about fruitcake and panettone. is my friend Laura, a crocheting Whovian. Hi, Laura. And in her on her Instagram page, she posted a picture of a glass of eggnog, which I love eggnog. Next time I will be talking about that because that is my favorite. And again, that is another one that I want to learn how to make for myself. And she says something to the effect of, I really like eggnog. A lot of people think it's really gross, but I don't care. And I think she mentioned fruitcake as being one of those things that, again, people are really divided on. Do you either love it or you hate it? Again, I personally haven't tried regular traditional fruitcake, but I would rather kind of make my own and go from there. But anyway, what are some of your favorite holiday treats? And let me know in the comments. Are there any that you particularly like, but other people that you know are not really crazy about? Are there some treats that you're like, I don't get what all the frickin' hype is about, it's disgusting, or what have you? Let me know. I'd love to hear. All right, guys, that is all I have. I know I've been rambling for about 20 minutes, but thank you for sticking with me, and have a wonderful, wonderful New Year's. And I will see you, I'll see you in 2020 because I'm going to be busy the next couple of days. All right, bye guys.